Hey, joining us now, and we're really excited about it, one of our sponsors for our coverage here in Cleveland also drove up on Saturday, left at 5 a.m. Glenn Davis drove up in mellow yellow. House of Delegates member Glenn Davis. He's also a candidate for lieutenant governor. He's been here with us at our delegation hotel the entire week, just mingling with the common folk, not mingling with the big money, big name politicians like Ed Gillespie, who's out there right now mingling with somebody that's going to give him $50,000. Meantime, Glenn Davis drives up at 5 a.m. on Saturday in mellow yellow, and he's just rubbing elbows all week here with the working class common folk of Virginia, which I'm in that category. Glenn, good to have you with us, man.
John, good to be on. This has just been an exciting couple of days.
I mean, are you having too much fun or what?
Yeah, John, I'm having a blast. I mean, the energy here is awesome. Never mind just being around the whole Virginia delegation, which is great and has been a lot of fun and a lot of energy and a lot of good times. But to have, Republicans from around the rest of the country together and have the excitement that we've had over in the hall.
So, Glenn, I just gotta ask you this, right? So, you've been here for 5 days, right? So, we're at the convention yesterday. We're on the floor. Trump gets nominated. The enthusiasm is overwhelming. And you're getting these media reports coming out now saying the convention is divided. Are these people at the same convention that we're at, Glenn?
Well, they're at the same convention, John. They're just not reporting the same things we're seeing and being a part of. I mean, I got a call and I was doing an interview and I was asked, so Glenn, are you, upset about how things started? And I said, well, what do you mean? All the excitement, enthusiasm when they gavelled in, or when the World War II veterans came out with the colors and all the excitement for that, or maybe it was the bands? Did you not see the excitement for that? And they said, well, how about, with all the stuff that went on with this, roll call? And I'm like, you have procedures, and you have to get through those. And we did whatever we had to do on procedural stuff, and then we had an amazing night 2 nights ago, a great night last night. I mean, I don't know if that's the same thing we are, but last time I checked, we're at a convention. When you go to a convention, there's a lot of protocol, a lot of procedures you walk through. But I told people we went in united. I told them we're coming out united, and sooner or later they're going to get it right.
Well, listen, the shocker of the last 2 days for me, you got to almost talk me off the ledge here. I mean, I've been in media my whole life. I mean, I'm 58 years old, and I'm here at this convention, and I'm watching news reports and reading things that are not what actually went on. And I'm here, and I'm thinking to myself, is this what happens every day? I mean, it's just so false.
I know, John. I'm in the same boat you are. And like I said, I'm getting interviewed, and I'm getting asked leading questions that assume something's going bad, or that, we're all having, internal fights, and nothing could be further from the truth. I mean, look, conventions are what conventions are. You walk in excited and enthused to have all these people around. There's a lot of energy. You go through a procedural process of motions. There's discussions. And then at night you have these wonderful speeches. Everyone comes together, and you walk out unified behind one nominee at the end of the day towards November. And that's what's going on. I think a lot of us expressed that was what was going to happen when we walked in the door. And that's what's going to happen when we walk out of the door. And somewhere along the line, I think the media is just trying to create a little bit of a story that's not there.
Well, look, it really is. And, you were with us last night. I mean, we had a great night in nominating Donald Trump. Those of us that have been with him and for him from the very start, who paid a price for that, myself, Brian Kerwin, many of us, people like that. We had a couple people in our delegation that, had a different agenda, but you were at the event, the after party event last night, right? Back at our hotel at about midnight when everybody was in there, and they opened up the bar. And what did we have? About 150 people there. We had probably 95% of the delegates and the alternates there. I mean, did you ever see so much enthusiasm? Even those people that were not comfortable with Trump in our delegation last night came together. Everybody was fired up. I mean, you maybe had 1 or 2 out of 100 delegates and alternates disgruntled, Beau Carell and somebody else. That was it. Everybody else is fired up and on the same page. So to then say, the Virginia delegation's divided, I mean, as soon as this guy was nominated, our delegation came together. Am I telling the truth or not?
John, you are. I mean, that's the thing. It's any family. Look, we all have our favorites, right? Everyone knows I was the K6 coach here in Virginia. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to unify behind a party. I mean, the one thing I hope all of us realize is 8 more years of the present administration is not something this country can afford. Heck, I don't think we could have afforded this first 8 we got. And so I think that's why, if there's anything to rally around, it's we can't afford to have Hillary and continue this administration. And I think that's resonating along with some of the messages that we've heard from the nominee this week. And I think the media is going to realize in short order that when we walk out of here, we're going to walk out of here unified.
I don't think there's any doubt. Now, Delegate Davis, you left in Mellow Yellow 5 a.m. on Saturday, or 6 a.m., I think, a couple hours behind the Fräulein and I. And you got in Saturday afternoon. We were, I think, unpacking when we saw your RV pull up. You've been here all week mingling with the common folk. So what have you learned?
Well, John, you use common folk. I use the fun people. So we've been having a blast. No, we came up on Saturday, and it was a crazy trip. I was actually at the office till about 3:30 that day, so I ran home packed, and we jumped on the RV. I think most of us slept for the first 4 or 5 hours of the trip. And we arrived, had a great reception. I wanted to put a welcome reception on for the Virginia delegation in the Virginia Hotel Bar. And it just had a great reception. We had a lot of fun and excitement before everything kicked off. But for me, it was getting the chance to meet some of the people that I had met, before going around the Commonwealth, but wanted to spend more time with. And honestly, just being supportive of the process and of our delegates. I'm not a delegate. I'm not an alternate. But, I thought it was important to be here and be with those that were carrying on the process that's going to set the direction for our state and our nation for the next 48 years.
Well, look, that's why I think it was so critical for you to come up here because, one thing that your Mellow Yellow gives you the opportunity to do is get out and talk to people and see what's going on. It's, a lot of others, people running for statewide office, don't get out to the extent you have. I know you were telling me all the miles that you've already put on your RV Mellow Yellow since you've had it, right?
I have, yeah. We're over 8,000 miles now, John, but when I said we're going to run this race, I'm not going to start raising money till July, I meant it. People didn't think I meant it. I told them I was going to buy an RV, and they seemed surprised when it was out there at the shad planking. And I told them we were going to travel 300 days, and they've been surprised. I mean, heck, if you want to know the difference between me and my opponents, I have an opponent in Virginia Beach, in my home city today, trying to put on a fundraiser to get money for his campaign because he's not putting his own in. And I'm up here with our delegation, spending time getting to know them more, being part of the process, being part of the grassroots process, and making sure I'm part of that team, as opposed to, worrying about getting money every time I turn around. That's the difference. I'm not in this to raise a whole bunch of money to see if I can win something so I can have a title. I'm in this because I want to make a difference. I want to make Virginia number one again for business and job growth. You don't do it unless you understand the unique challenges and opportunities around the Commonwealth. And what better way to have those discussions all in one place than up at the convention where we have delegates from all around the Commonwealth here for a full week?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you get quality conversations that you don't get when you're moving through a receiving line or you're at a cocktail reception or maybe you get together and there's a lot of people and there's maybe an hour. I mean, you've been up here all week. So the thing that I've liked about it with you being here is like even you and I, we've able to have quality, in-depth conversations that you just don't have in the normal course of running a campaign because you just don't have the time.
You're right, and
to do that.
John, we're going to roll out some stuff today on what I was doing yesterday. We had a little bit of a break in the morning, and I had some things scheduled prior to coming up when I knew I was going to be here and have that break. A friend of mine helped start a school, charter school for children with autism. So I spent a couple hours over there yesterday, and amazing experience. It's just unreal what they've done, and we're probably going to go back tomorrow a little bit and even go through a little bit more. I spent a lot of time at the Cleveland Clinic with their innovation facilities and just seeing what they've done with R&D when it comes to cardiovascular research, and that's where I've been spending the extra time. So, I know some people think, well, Glenn came up there to go and, fundraise, and nothing could be further from the truth. I'm going around looking at what we can do better for Virginia. I'm going around spending time with those that are carrying our country and our nation forward in the state. And I'll worry about the fundraising, like I've always said, when it's the right time, and we're getting there. But right now, I want to make sure that that I know how we can make things right in Virginia, be number one again, and have the right policies to do so.
All right. Well, listen, we really appreciate your coming up here and spending the week with us. Delegate Davis, it's always good to see Mellow Yellow up here as well. We also thank you for being one of the sponsors of the John Fredericks political RNC convention coverage as well. We wouldn't be here without you and all the sponsors helping. We appreciate it. But I just, again, want to tell you on behalf of the Trump campaign and the Virginia delegation, we really appreciate the effort that you made this week in spending time with us. And also thank you for your opening night reception, sir. Thank you so much.
Well, John, thank you and congratulations. I know you called this thing back on day one with the Trump campaign that he was going to be the nominee. I don't know what crystal ball you're using, but I really like to borrow it sometime.
It's called a pair of headphones. I have the best listeners, Glenn, in America. They tell me exactly what's going to happen, and then I take the credit.
There you go.
Real easy. All right, we're out of time. I want to thank Glenn Davis for being with us up here in Cleveland all week on Mellow Yellow. More information, go to glennrdavis.com. That's glennrdavis.com.